I'm allegedly live. I'm allegedly live. uh, LOL, what happened? I don't know. It told me that lives were not allowed, and then I came back anyway, and I had one. So okay, I think we're good. Um, very confused, but otherwise living the best life. Hello, everyone. It's real this time. Weird being here so early. Yes. Well, technically, we're all late because for those who weren't in the old live, I put it up and then it didn't show me anything except wonderful bath mat reviews over there, and then uh, it just said never mind, lives aren't allowed, but didn't actually like take the live down. So I was very confused. But we're here. I gotta send this link out to the people, to the world. I don't have any plans for this after show. We're just gonna be chilling and chatting because oh wait, guys, am I the stupidest person on earth? If I move this over here, now I look more like I'm looking straight at you, don't I? Look at that. All right. Hey buddy, hopefully it works this time. Hopefully. Let's zoom out a little bit. Oh, not too much. Am I this zoomed in on my phone? On my camera? Jesus. Right. Well, now you guys can see everything. I don't know why the quality looks a little worse. Um, like I feel like my quality of camera is doing bad, but we can try and fix some of that here. Do. Oh, whoa, that's way different. I need a new camera so bad, guys. Yeah, maybe. Nah, we'll stick with this. This is fine. Yo, hey Nikhil, did you watch the Rogue reveal for Marvel Rivals? So I was sick when Rogue finally got revealed, which is why I didn't get any videos or anything like that from me this time around. She does look cool as hell though. I'm a big fan of what she looks like. I will say, for those who do not know, Gambit being a strategist was so OP for me specifically that I don't know if I'm going to play Rogue as a Vanguard. I'm a real one trick pony. And those who have watched me play know that I'm not even that good at that pony. I just only enjoy really playing strategist. Did you see Deadpool and Elsa Bloodstone's reveal? Yes, at the Game Awards. I did see that. Um, where did you get your bookshelves? I've been looking for some since my last ones broke. IKEA. They're not Billy's. They're the cheaper version of Billy's. I love how they utilized her steel. I know it looks so cool. It looks so cool. Maybe I should do a little reacty thingy for it. I don't know. I've already seen it, so that kind of ruins reacting, I think. But it looks amazing. Wait, I've had an idea for how to fix the camera issue. Ah, it's better, worse. What do we think? What would you want for an animated Avengers movie? I don't know. I don't really care about animated Avengers stuff, to be honest. Like I enjoy that, but I don't know if I'm really like this is what I need to see. I like when the Hulk is treated how the Hulk has been treated in every other Avengers movie so far. Or animated ones. As opposed to the MCU. I like when the Hulk is scary. Let the Hulk be scary. That's a big one for me. Um really what I think is I'd like to see the Avengers as buddies. Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes has a very fun team that feels like they really like each other. Hawkeye, also very good in that version. I'd like to see more Hawkeye like that. What is something that everyone says is the worst, but if you actually watched it, it's actually peak? Anything that it gets popular to hate. I don't know about peak, but I think Has Been Hotel gets a lot of hate that it doesn't deserve. I think what is another show that everyone hates for no reason? I think a lot of like cartoons really suffer from it. Um, Do 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 do. I was glad the Deadpool trailer got it right when Deadpool said he's not even a mutant. I know, I loved that shout out. Also, Capwolf is in that trailer, and that's the biggest thing for me. Elsa Bloodstone is a monster hunter. And there's a line by Deadpool where he's like, I'm the one who let all you guys out. So I'm curious if it's going to be like a monster hunting season. Like, it's like, oh, there's monster versions of characters, and now Elsa's going to hunt them. Could be fun. Have you considered reacting to Iron Man Armored Adventures? It's a high school AU for Iron Man. The theme song bangs. I've heard of Iron Man Armored Adventures. I've never seen it. I have been told I should react to it. And I say everything. Once I'm done with Wolverine the X-Men Teen Titans, we're in a brand new era. Well, it is called Night at the Museum. No, it's called Night at Museum, which is a really silly thing to me. And I know that doesn't matter, but like it does. Marvel Rivals Season 6. Let me see if that was just the one TikTok I saw, if that's like actually what it's called. No, it's called Night at the Museum. So never mind. I saw one TikTok that forgot the thought and I had a pedantic response to it. I take it back. Sorry, everyone. It is called Night at the Museum. What do you want from X-Men 97 season 2? I want Apocalypse to be genuinely interesting, okay? I need him to be more than just a plot device. Now we left it where we're interacting with like 3 different apocalypses in 3 different timelines. That's fucking interesting. I need Rogue and Gambit to be done well. I think they will be. I need Wolverine as a side character. I need Charles and Xavier fleshed out. Charles and Magneto fleshed out even more. Basically, take every theme you were doing in X-Men Season 1 and do it again in Season 2. Or better. Ba 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 ba. It might be a reference to the Deadpool King of the Monsters run. It might be. Facts. Earth's Mightiest Heroes would be peak. Exactly. Have you heard the Armored Adventures theme song? No, I have not heard the Armored Adventures theme song. I have not. Wait, what the fuck? Wait. That's my alarm. That's unrelated to my surprise. What is... How am I... Are you guys seeing that? Interesting. Having a lot of fun with my camera today. Also, I never actually posted this on Discord, so I gotta do that in a second. Da ba dee da ba do da ba dee ba do ba da ba dee 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 do ba. Quit OBS. It's gotta be a filter that YouTube is putting on me, because on my OBS it doesn't look like this, and I don't usually look at these through YouTube. Since you've talked about Batman Beyond, Since you talked about Batman Beyond, happy 25th anniversary of Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker, Mark Hamill's best Joker performance. I've seen that movie. I remember liking that movie. I don't remember enough about it. Isn't it like it's Tim Drake, right? I've heard that. It's Tim Drake is the Robin or is the Joker. Animated shows seem to suffer from market bubble. People like them and then like them way too much and become annoying and then they're hated. Look at Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty is another one I think is genuinely a very good show. I think at a certain point, you can't judge a show by its fandom. That's what I say. Love the reaction shows. Also, wound up watching them all while writing my final paper on the Cold War and comic books propaganda, and it felt low-key fitting. That's amazing. That's a cool-ass paper, too. What's a TV show / movie / that the trailer ads overhyped the actual show or movie in your opinion? It's not overhyping, but Collateral Beauty stays the movie with the most disingenuous trailer I've ever seen. Yeah. Static Shock would be sick one day. What would you want from an MCU X-Men movie? I have kind of accepted that the MCU X-Men movies will not be for me no matter what they are. The number one thing I'd like, and it's not ever going to happen, is for them to do anything at all that reflects a comic book. And by that I mean a team that actually existed in the comics, a villain that actually existed in the comics. And I'm not asking for like 100% comic accuracy, but an attempt, just like trying to do a story that existed in the comic. What's going to happen, and what I know will happen, is like with almost every X-Men adaptation, they will take 8 or so random people who have been on the X-Men at some point in their 60-year history, or sometimes not even, sometimes just on one of the adjacent teams, and they'll throw them together and they'll have them face a villain who is like kind of basically an OC. That is all. That's the only way they know how to make X-Men movies. X-Men 97 is kind of like the sole example or sole difference from this. But yeah, I think anything that's not buffet style, I'm on board. Another Storm that is not allowed to do stuff. I would also really like Storm to be the leader. I think we've gotten to a point in the world where Storm can just lead the X-Men again. You know, the point we reached in the comics in 1976. I think we're back there now. What's your dream team for the first MCU X-Men in a perfect world? I would like, again, any team that's really existed, but ideally the one from like the 80s, the early 80s, pre-Outback. We getting a Patreon vid today? It's halfway through being edited. I'm so sorry to my patrons. I got sick over the weekend. It's taken me hell back to climb. It has taken me forever to climb back from Thanksgiving. It's amazing what happens when you take 3 days off of this fucking job. But yes, I'm halfway through editing today's Patreon vid. It will go up. I'm so sorry. I can't wait for Avengers Doomsday. What interaction would you want to see in that movie? See, the thing is, I'm like depressed, and it's hard to muster up much energy about anything. But let's think here. Who's in that movie that would be fun to see? I guess any of the X-Men with anyone else. Like Gambit talking to Kamala Khan would blow my brain. I don't know what they would speak about, but it would blow my mind, and I'd be intrigued by watching it happen. Gambit and Elena, also fun. Spider-Man and the Human Torch would be a lovely thing to see. I think there's the wrong ages still. I don't know how old Spidey's supposed to be in these movies anymore, but Human Torch seems a little too old. I need them biblically. I would love to see a Lego X-Men anything movie game. Me too. Where's my Lego Marvel games, man? Lego Batman's getting his like 80th one. Where is Lego X-Men? Where's Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, but not the dumb Kang version? Where's that? I just wanted Lego Marvel Superheroes 1 is so goated. And it's like the best adaptation of the Marvel universe as a concept because everyone's just there in New York. You can walk to the X Mansion, you know? You can walk from Doctor Strange's house to the X Mansion. It's beautiful. Then they threw it away for the second one. Oh, now it's the multiverse and Kang and timelines smashing together. I don't care. You don't have a single X-Man. That's crazy. You can play as Hammerhead, though. That is fun. Hi, Nikhil. This might be the last of your lives I can catch for a while. I'm moving soon, so life is about to get really hectic. Hoping to still catch your videos when I can. Much love. Hey, take the time you need to take for yourself. Enjoy the move and enjoy whatever new adventure awaits you. And I will still be here when you get back. I have no plans to stop. Love the next Avengers reaction. Well, thank you very much. Something smells like it's burning, which is not good in a room that is full of computers and lights. I've loved the X-Men since the 80s, but the central conceit as race is in. Whoa, sorry, the text is so small, guys. I gotta. Oh, I fixed it. Also, now I have to blow my nose. We're still recovering. Anyway, this is a serious question. I want to read it for real. Where is it? I've loved the X-Men since the 80s, but the central conceit as race in mutation falls apart because race doesn't make you dangerous. Class equals mutation makes more sense. That makes Milton Hershey school. My thing with this has always been the X-Men do not work in a world where they're the only superheroes because of this reason, but they work very well in the comic books where people will wear shirts that have the Hulk on them and then throw things at the person who has a slightly long neck. And I think the other thing that is also often forgotten when people bring this up is that canonically 90% of mutants are 90% of mutants are non-combatant. We focus on the superhero mutants. The majority of mutants do not have offensive powers. And I think the general stance of, first of all, I don't think it's a good metaphor for straight race, but I think as a metaphor for just the general idea of oppression, it is a very relatable to many different types of minorities. And I think that's what matters. Also, I do think like there's still something to there's never a reason to judge an entire group of people by a few people. Like because one person could be dangerous does not give you the right to imprison an entire group of people in camps. You know? Is Gambit a good cook in the comics? I just saw a thing that suggests this. Yes. I think it honestly comes from the TV show. The 90s show had a joke about it, and then now they joke about it every now and then. But like they recently published his jambalaya recipe and stuff. He's a good cook now. Um, I've always found it really funny that Marvel has our real cities just full of supers, but DC has completely different ones, but still in America. I don't get the fake cities. I like the real cities because, like, where is Metropolis? Something I like to think about a lot is what is it like to live in New York in DC? Because you have to be like the fourth city of note in that country, then maybe the third. Like Metropolis gets all of the usual good cred New York gets in the real world, and Gotham gets all of the like edgy street cred that New York gets in the real world. So what's left for New York? Is it just Chicago? And if so, what's Chicago? You know, like culturally, how do people view the Big Apple in that world? Um, that's something I like to think about a lot. Do 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 do. Ba-da-da-da-dee-doo. Ba-ba-dee. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-bee. Um. Ah. Superheroes often mess with the metaphors the story is trying to tell. Again, I don't think so, but I do think like it's not Zootopia. You know, like it's not a genuine metaphor, and I think that's my difference here. Is it's not saying like Predator is to black people as prey is to white people, which I think still Zootopia was crazy for. It is saying it is attempting to represent things that happen to oppressed people. And Inzo is relatable for many different groups. Like, there's a reason that you can see yourself in the X Men if you're queer, if you're disabled, if you're ethnic, diverse. I don't know how you would. What's the equivalent of the word queer? POC. If you're POC, like I think that shows it's not a one to one. If you try to ever read it as a one to one, yes, it doesn't work. My favorite aspect of the X-Men has always been the found family vibe. Is there a specific run or series you'd recommend for that? I haven't read much whatsoever. Probably Astonishing X-Men. That's like the most like schooly one. Or the old 80s stuff. They feel like they're really close. That's just called Uncanny X-Men. We must talk about how Thor and how he abandoned Torin for her to learn to be human is ridiculously stupid. There's no way that's why he abandoned her, right? Like he just abandoned her and then was like, "Oh, here's a good time to explain why. It's because you learned a lesson." It makes no sense. If the idea for Thor was, "I'm gonna leave my daughter, my like infant daughter at this point, on Earth alone, go off to Asgard, not return." And then one day, a supervillain will overthrow the planet. She'll be raised in the post apocalypse and then have to die fighting him. And then that'll teach her mortality. Then he's a sociopath. It's kind of better if he's just a deadbeat. The probably should have just had Thor be dead also. They should have had a reason he couldn't come back. I kept waiting for some like, oh, they broke the Bifrost. Like I tried to return when Ultron came, but you know, you whatever you did somehow let me come back, and now we can be together. No, nothing. He just chooses not to return to Earth. It's insane. I wish they made a plot point about Asgard being cut off from Earth or something. It would have helped the Thor stuff make sense. Exactly. Exactly. I'd love to see the next Avengers kids again in some way, shape, or form. Me too. They're so fun. Who was her mom? It's not made clear. I think the generous read is that it was Jane, and that's he didn't just leave her like as an orphan on Earth, and that she like had an Earth mom who died in the whole Ultron thing. That's the generous read. The more likely read is that it's Sif, and then both of her parents left her, which is insanity. Do you have any Lego Marvel sets? No, I don't, but I have a Lego Goonies set that I do kind of want to build. I haven't been able I built one thing. You guys want to see my one Goonies thing? You can watch me build it on live. It's an old live. Oh, also I kind of like retooled my entire channel. So you can see that now. But this is my one Goonies thing. And I have to build more. We could do that right now during this after show. Wolverine of the X-Men next? Yes, I am halfway through editing the first 3 episodes of Wolverine of the X-Men. By the way, hot second, real quick. Beef? Why the fuck is it 3 parts? They're completely separate episodes. If Odin were still around, it would have made sense that Thor couldn't get involved, but Thor is literally king with an entire army at his disposal. It makes no sense. It should have been that Thor was on Asgard when everything was fine, and then Ultron cut Asgard off from Earth, and so he couldn't return. That's what it should have been. And then when Ultron's defeated at the end of the movie, he comes back to be with his daughter. I wouldn't have been able to hate him if they just did that. But no. Random suggestion, but for DC after Teen Titans, you should try Legion of Superheroes cartoon. It's a very X-Men Evolution-esque with how Season 2 drastically shifts the status quo. I've never even heard of it, but I will consider it. How do you think a next Avengers kid of Gambit and Rogue would work? There's a few floating around that are like Gambit Rogue kids. In the next Avengers style, I imagine it would probably just be Gambit. That seems to be how they just did it. They just kind of whoop each character. But it would be fun. Do do do. Do. Bring. My guy, you will not believe the flashbacks I get to you watching that film back to when everything was on Netflix. A lot of people remember that movie on Netflix. I don't think I ever watched it on Netflix. I did watch X-Men Evolution on Netflix at one point. Doo-doo. Did you see the super? They would be Gambit, but instead of giving kinetic energy, she takes it. See, here's the thing. That's not how any of the kids in that movie work. Like, all of them just have their parents, like one parent's power. Pym, I guess, technically has the sting and the growing, but he specifically doesn't use the growing until the end. Azari only has electricity. And again, I guess at the end has an electric panther. So that's like his connection. James has nothing, but is clearly just doing a Captain America. Torrance just Thor. Hawkeye's just Hawkeye. Like that, no one's really synthesizing. This thing's a gadget, not a biological power. No, I don't think it's ever made clear. Similar to the growing. You think any of the mutants survived that universe? Presumably not. Thoughts on Wolverine the X-Men character designs being mainly inspired by John Cassidy's designs for Astonishing X-Men. They look great. Any thoughts on hitting up any of the Spider-Man cartoons in the future? Yes, I have tentative plans if I ever learn how to edit faster, but I'm already behind. So, I don't know why I have the final countdown in my head. Only his electricity. Did you see the way he moved around? Yes. Do you know what? I guess true. He is somehow biologically acrobatic. You're right. He inherited that from his dad. Do you plan on watching Ultimate Avengers? I do now. I didn't know that was a movie. Guys, I gotta be honest. I knew Planet Hulk was also out there, but I thought that was like it. It was Hulk versus next Avengers, Planet Hulk. Now everyone's like, "Are you gonna react to Doctor Strange?" I didn't know that was a movie. I feel bad. I should have done more. Do you like the more cat-like Beast? I do. I actually really do like the more cat-like Beast. Um, I just looked up on the wiki. Torrance mother is Sif, which caused an entirely different rant to go off. Yeah, because where is Sif? You better be dead, girly. There's an Iron Man one too. I've heard. Have you seen any of the Marvel anime? No, but I am gonna react to that. That one's on the list. Do you think that outside of who we see in the movie or any other heroes or villains survive Ultron's takeover? No, because they would have helped. I have to believe. Um, I think yeah, his trophy room's very big. I feel like he killed mostly everyone. There's a Marvel anime and an X-Men anime. I'm gonna watch the X-Men anime and I'm gonna watch the Wolverine anime. If there's a general Marvel anime, it'll go on the docket later. Uh, do. There's a background shot of Magneto's helmets, and how did he win that matchup? Exactly. How did he win anything? It's so funny. Ultron, like most supervillains, to be fair, exists to lose. And it's insanity that he was not losing to some of these people. Do. I just thought, is the Iron Man Armor Adventures on the list? No. Right now, the list, like the firm happening list, is Wolverine and the X-Men, which I'm already recording, Teen Titans at the same time, the animes, Ether. Next, after that, we could do Avengers: Earth Mightiest Heroes. We could do something non-superhero hero. I know, crazy. Clone Wars, still an option. We could do Iron Man Armored Adventures. We could do a lot of stuff. I don't know. It's going to be June, and I will figure out where we live in June. Oh, My Hero Academia is another like potential option. Bebop, we could like I said, everything is on the docket in after those 4 shows that I'm already gonna watch. Do 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 do. Saying Ultron killed Storm and Black Panther is stupid, but he did. He did kill them. Technically, he killed legally distinct Storm, which also confuses me because, to my understanding, animation was never a part of the legal battles when it came to the mutants. Like they could always use mutants in animated projects, similar to like Spider-Man. Now they used Spider-Man more, but they could have used the X-Men as well. They just didn't. So it confuses me that they don't say Storm in this movie. Do, 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 do. Do you think Ultron and Rivals should have been Nimrod, even though Nimrod kind of sucks? First of all, I don't think Nimrod kind of sucks. You watch your tongue. Second of all, yes. I mean, if they were trying to do genuine like themes and adaptations, I think Nimrod made more sense. Ultron is very clearly filling in for Nimrod in their like Krakoa Araco shit. But he's just more popular. And it's like if you're gonna do a general Marvel thing and you want a robot bad guy, you go to Ultron. If you're doing an X-Men thing and you want a robot bad guy, you go to the Sentinels. I understand this is a Marvel thing. They wanted to go to Nimrod. Not Nimrod. They want to go to Ultron. Have Nimrod and Ultron ever like literally physically combined into one being? Not to my knowledge. Nimrod and Ultron and the Sentinels, I don't believe interacted until like 2022. It's insane. It's something I think about a lot. Is a common theme in the X-Men, a common like fact of the universe that they're constantly dealing with is that 100%, no matter what they do, the Earth ends in a robo-apocalypse. Ever since Days of Future Past in 1970, whatever, the Earth is going to end in a robot apocalypse. The question is, Can the X-Men stop it before it happens? And we often think they do. We often find out they didn't. Bishop and Cable come from, I'm pretty sure, two different robot apocalypses. Humans die, mutants die, robots reign supreme. Ultron is not mentioned at all for decades. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's in the 2020s when they finally show some level of comparison between the two. And even then, it's very minimal. Old Man Logan didn't. That was a different universe. It's very complicated. Sorry. 616. Our X-Men are trying to stop our world from going to Robo Apocalypse. Has anyone considered the fact that Ultron seemingly doesn't have any backups? Isn't a part of Ultron's character that he can transfer to other Ultron bodies? That simply was not a requirement for this movie. Like, that's all that was. Like, yeah, he can, and he would normally, but it's just not going to be a part of that. Resend, cuz I don't know if you saw it before. You know, during the movie, I fully expected them to throw in Mayday Parker just for shits and giggles. That would have been neat. I would have liked more people. There was only one woman, and it actually took me most of the movie to see it, because I guess I'm the problem. But I didn't notice until Torin runs away that she's the literal only girl. Doo-doo-doo. Speaking of robots in comics, what's your favorite from Brainiac? Kulon scientists, Viljox, and fused with cybernetics, or Kryptonian AI? Not Kryptonian AI. I liked when he was a guy. And I know that was like 50 years ago, but still. Weird question. What Marvel characters do you think has the best balance between strength, speed, and intelligence? Like, Reed is the smartest, but not very much strength. Hulk is the strongest, but there's faster. Cap? I feel like if you're gonna go for like, well, I guess that's the question, is who has the most maxes or who's the most balanced? Because Cap is definitely speed, intelligence, and strength to an even level. Spider-Man is another good one. I would put Spider-Man and Cap on the same level. I get Spider-Man stronger because of that ridiculous comic, but still. If you could create your own X-Men team, who would be on it? And yes, you need more than just Gambit. Again, so for an actual adaptation, I want any team that's ever existed. However, just of my favorites, if I was going to make like one in the comics right now, Gambit, Escapade, Boom Boom, Skids. No, wait, I fucked up. I have too many people. Gambit, Bishop, Warlock. Who else was it? Skids, not Boom Boom. Boom Boom got replaced in my brain. And Lila Cheney. That's my 5. And I want them to be a heist team. And Escapade. I forgot her again. 6-person heist team. I had a pitch, not like one I ever used, but like, in my own fan fiction-y mind, for what was a book called Krakoan Thieves Guild. It would have slapped, guys. Storm's relationship with Kitty is giving me so much life. It's so sweet. Also, just read Storm being a space fish while fighting the Brood. Storm in the Brood saga, if you're not a fan of Storm to begin with, that will get you there. She's so fun in that series. Who's that young mutant that has the same power as Gambit? I think she was in the Children of the Atom comic. You're thinking of Gimmick, aka Faint. She doesn't actually have the same powers as Gambit. I believe her power is like shape-shifting. But she was using technology to replicate Gambit's powers. Because the whole thing with the Children of the Atom was they were using alien tech to pretend to be mutants. And then just twist, Gimmick turned out to actually be a mutant. Hold on. Woo. Wow, I'm back. Is MGH still a thing in the comics? Yes. I believe it just came up in Iceman Solo from 2023 was the last time it was talked about. Did you read Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda? No, I did not. Was that her gimmick? Yes. Genuinely, like I think she was named that as kind of making fun of Gambit because Gambit is like, for as much as I love him and as fun as he is, Gambit is undeniably an OC in the more modern sense of the term. You know, like if Gambit came out now and there was just a new character who wore cool clothes and was immediately the coolest guy in the X-Men and he beat up all the other X-Men in the danger room and then they say he's faster than Psylocke and he's a better fighter than Wolverine and he's a better thief than Storm and he throws cards around and all that shit, like people would rage. um and I think that is, there are still subsections of comic creators who were reading in the 90s who don't like Gambit. And I think that Gimmick was a commentary on that. They were calling Gambit a gimmick. In the older outside, he looked demonish at times, demonish at times, but they really should have kept. Yes, I fully agree. I miss when Gambit kind of looked like a demon. Do do do. Have you been watching Welcome to Derry? Bill Skarsgård is so incredible as Pennywise. I've not, but I've heard wonderful things. People would be so pissed about Thieves Guild lore if it came out today. Oh yeah. I mean, also like, to be fair, that would require it to matter, and people will be pissed if Thieves Guild lore ever starts to matter. You rest assured. What's your perfect casting for Gambit in the movies, excluding yourself, of course? I've always been very partial to Lakeith Stanfield. I think that's like such a layup, and I want them to get to it before he gets too old. How old is Lakeith these days? Isn't he like 40 now? I swear, Hollywood actors, I feel like, are never 30. They're like young and 20, and then become 40 to get the adult roles. He's 34, so he's actually one of the few 30-year-olds in Hollywood. If the next Avengers had a Hulk equivalent / child of Bruce and Betty, who would you pick? Possibly Rick Jones as A-Bomb or an original character? Rick Jones as A-Bomb's a very cute idea. Probably an original character to fit with the rest, though. X-Men fan OCs don't exist in the fandom for the sole reason that an X-Men already exists for whatever ideas you have. Truly. To try and imagine a new... I do not envy any creator that's still writing X-Men comics and has to come up with new mutant powers. We've done them all. It's over. Haven't seen Welcome to Derry, but Alien Earth was like the highlight for me. Actually, fantastic use of the universe. I saw the first 2 episodes of that, and it was very fun. I know Gambit was so powerful. I always thought he was almost useless without something in his hands. Just handcuff him. He is, basically. Like, to be fair, he is. The whole, like, oh, Gambit's actually secretly Omega level or whatever, and I have a whole video about this, is from a story about how dumb it would be if that was true. Like, meta-wise, that's what that story is about. Is a guy be like, isn't it crazy that, like, Gambit might be powerful? We should make it very clear that Gambit's not that powerful. What's an important aspect of Gambit that you actually don't like? His charisma powers. I ignore it in every version of Gambit that I've ever done, like a skit, and also when I talk about him. And to be fair, the books haven't brought it up in decades. I like to believe, personal headcanon, that every time it's been mentioned that he has charisma powers, they're being figurative. And he's just very charismatic of a person, and not like literally mind controlling people, because it gets creepy. Also, it was made official back in the day that the charisma powers didn't work on people who knew him, which sounds like he's just charismatic to me. Gambit has charisma powers? Technically. Did you see the Supergirl trailer, and have you read The Excellent Woman of Tomorrow? It's right there. I've not read it. It's on the list. I remember they did something similar with that with Star Fox. See, Star Fox, it was his whole thing, so there was no getting around it. But yes, they did. I wish there were some jokes in the comics about the fact that realistically Gambit, Monet, and the Bobillard twins would really struggle to understand each other's French. That sounds hilarious. Purple Man's like, like a disease. That's different. What do you think of Green Lantern 2011 film? I liked it enough as a kid, honestly. I like, when you're little and you watch movies and then they're all great because you're in a theater watching it and you've never thought of this before in your life. Do-do-do-do. The thing that made me say that, like the whole like knowing him already thing that doesn't work, is there's a thing where he's like allegedly trying to use it on Bobby, and Bobby's like, dude, this isn't gonna work on me. I know you, and it comes off more like he can't con Bobby unless like his brain control powers have a limit. What are your thoughts on Thor from next Avengers movie? Bad. I think they he sucks. Do. I remember the next Avengers being my Avengers movie. James's shield was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. Sorry, you're not the Black Panther I am has popped into my mind randomly all the time. I didn't remember that at all. The good thing about like doing this as a career now is that I don't remember a lot of these shows. I will watch things and they will fall out of my brain. Wolverine the X-Men. I can't for the life of me remember what the plot of that show is. Remember when you were young and full of whimsy? No, Nikhil, came out of the womb scorned and hateful towards the world. Well, sir, gay ass, I'm sorry to hear that. What do you like more? Mutant characters with one dedicated power or mutant powers with half a dozen unrelated powers? I hate when mutants have unrelated powers. I will give you a little grace if it's a physical mutation and then like a power mutation. Like if you're like Kurt or Mammomax, sure. But you can't have two separate superpowers. I think that's so stupid. Even Wolverine, I get mad at. Why do you get knife hands and a healing factor? Fuck you. And yes, secondary mutations exist, but also they didn't always, secondary mutations were introduced in the 2000s. And also, I'm actually fine with it if it's an explicit secondary mutation. If you haven't had it for years and then randomly one day you get a second power, I'm more on board. But if your like character creation is like 2 to 6 different random powers, fuck you. Yes, Emma is when they invented secondary powers. So what happened is when Grant Morrison started writing the X-Men in the 2000s, they wanted to use Colossus, but Chris Claremont was already using Colossus in his book. So Grant was just like, fine, I'll make Emma Colossus. And then everyone was like, how are you going to make Emma Colossus? And they were like, by just saying that she can do this now. And now secondary mutations are a thing. But whatever. Wolverine also has enhanced senses. Yeah. Ridiculous. Did you ever watch Ultimate Avengers the movie? No. What do you think is more compelling, Green Goblin in the comics? Norman or Harry? Norman. I've never cared about Harry in my entire goddamn life. I would be better off if I never saw Harry Osborn again. He's kind of like the angel of Spider-Man to me, Like, it's not actually that I hate him. I just find him boring. And I don't see why I have, like, it's like going to a party, And then I see him and I'm like, oh, Harry's here. So, yeah, I think Norman's a very interesting character. I do not see the allure of Harry. I thought Spider-Man 2, the video game, was going to finally get me on board. It did not. Agree or disagree? Green Goblin is more compelling, but Hobgoblin has better design. Agree. Emma's sick as hell, though. Yes. Do you think Kurt should have been a Spider-Man for longer? Yes. What do you think of Mary Jane being Venom? I didn't read it, but I thought it was a very funny idea. My exposure to Harry as a character is just from the games and films, but yeah, he often seems very flat. To be fair, so is most of mine. Like, I don't read a ton of Spider-Man comics, guys. So maybe he fucking slaps in the comic. I don't know. Also, CinemaSins. What are we talking about? How did CinemaSins get brought up? Why was Kurt a Spider-Man? He was hiding because mutants were like oppressed again, and Spidey gave him an extra outfit, and then he just started going around stopping crime in that outfit. He was called Uncanny Spider-Man. It was awesome. He fought the Vulture. They like retconned the Vulture into being a super racist, which is like, On brand. Aren't mutants always oppressed? Not really. Like it might surprise you. They go through waves. There was a period in I want to say the late 80s, maybe early 90s, where they were like loved. It's after Fall of the Mutants. The X-Men sacrificed themselves on camera to they sacrificed themselves on camera to save the world, and it's like being filmed by NPR. And so like mutants are actually like respected and liked for a little bit until Inferno happens, and then they're back to not being liked. If you're sad about how X-Men Evolution ended, wait until the end of Wolverine and the X-Men. I can't wait for Wolverine and the X-Men, man. National Public Radio? Are you asking why they had cameras? I don't know, but they did. Take it up with NPR. What do you think about Emma having a British accent? I don't mind it. Haven't humans and mutants interacted at all? Oh, yeah. So right around the time when they were trying to push the Inhumans because they didn't have the rights to the mutants, they created this idea called, well, they already had the Terrigen Mist, but they injected this idea that the Terrigen Mist would A, make more Inhumans, and B, kill mutants. So they literally had a whole event called Inhumans versus X-Men that was about how the thing that gave the world more Inhumans killed off mutants. And then they killed off a bunch of mutants, made a bunch more Inhumans, and we're like, now we have synergy, baby. Weren't Fall of the Mutants and Inferno only a year apart? I don't know. I read all these things on Marvel Unlimited. That's really funny. I assumed there was a good bit of distance here. Let's find out. Fall of the Mutants. Marvel. 1987. That does seem late. That does seem very late. The last is 1988. Okay. March 1988 is the last of Fall of the Mutants. Inferno, Marvel. No, that's a guy. I know you guys can't see this. I didn't bother putting this through to you guys, but you know what? You could just hear me as I speak about it and then learn. March 1988, December 1988, Inferno starts. That's so fucking funny. Okay, so you remember when I said a few years there? I meant 8 months. My bad. Time's not real. I wasn't even born when this was happening. Why does Marvel hate the Inhumans? They don't. This is my thing, right? I lived through the X-Men getting literally killed off to build the Inhumans ranks. So I'm not ever getting on this board of like, oh, Marvel hates the Inhumans, the poor Inhumans. Fuck the Inhumans. I hate the Inhumans. I think Marvel liked the Inhumans too much. They were a dumb attempt at replicating the mutants for legal reasons. Fuck them. Marvel doesn't hate the Inhumans. I do. Exactly. Marvel only liked the Inhumans because they didn't own the mutants in films. Exactly. Wasn't the original premise of X Factor just X-Men pretending to be humans with tech weapons to handle mutant problems? Yes, they were Ghostbusters. It was a Ghostbusters beat. They were supposed to be the new people. Seriously, we would just put out an hour-long video about why the Inhumans were pushed. Long story short, money and racism. Yes. Matt doing the good work. I don't have strong feelings on the Inhumans as a whole. I just love Kamala Khan and also Lockjaw Giant Teleporting Dog. Here's my other hot take. Turning Kamala Khan into an X-Man, into a mutant. One of the best decisions for that character in ages. Have you seen or will you react to Hulk vs. Agents of Smash? I've never seen it. I might react to it. We'll have to find out in the future. I got so confused with all the X-Men spin-off comics. Here's the thing. You got X-Men, and then you got Uncanny X-Men, and that is unnecessarily repetitive, but you got those two. That's what you call your flagships. Then you got X Factor. That's like government sponsored usually. Sometimes they're doing public detective stuff, private detective stuff. Then you got Excalibur. That's X-Men but British. They do like fairies and shit. Castles, medieval nonsense. X-Force, that's Black Ops. New Mutants, that's children. Gen X, that's children. Academy X, that's children. And I'm missing another children group, but children. And yeah, those are the ones you need to pay attention to. Now, a lot of books will come out about random teams that don't matter, and you can read them if you want, but like, those are the main ones. A lot of children. Well, yeah, you got to introduce a new class every like 10 years. So, a lot of kids. There's kids now called the Outliers. Karnak has solo runs? That can't be true. Karnak Volume 1 Marvel. Holy fuck. Karnak has solo runs. From 2015, though. So that's like the height of the push. How many do you have? Volume 2. None. He has one. Okay. So I wouldn't call that many good. Just the one. Also, Wolverine gets solo stuff sometimes in cable. Well, yeah, I didn't know we were talking about the solos. They said spin-off teams. No, they just said spin-off books. Well, yeah, there's solos as well. You should pay attention to those. Maybe age the kids. You can't age the kids unless you want to age the adults, too. That's the issue. Like, hold on. I'm so sorry. I'm still getting over a cold. If you age the kids, here's the thing. Scott Summers was born in 1950 something, right? Like, we all know this. He's like 20-ish in 1968. So, not even. Maybe he was born in the late 40s. All the other kids have the same problem down the line. So if you start saying like the New Mutants who are born in the 80s, 70s, born in the 70s, are now growing up, then Scott, who was born in the 50s, has to still be 20 years older than them. You see the issue. Imagine the school gets split up into elementary school, middle school, high school, college. They tried that basically, but the thing is they also don't want anyone that young. So like everyone's just kind of vaguely in high school and college. Are you up to date on the current X-Men comics? No, not by a long shot. Sliding timescale gets everything messy. I just ignore it. LOL. Yeah, that's the way to go. People are the age that they are, and that's what matters. If you're reading a book and a person seems like an adult, they're an adult. And if they seem like a child, they're a child. It just don't ever ask a question. Are the X-Men not affected by the sliding timescale or not? Technically, yes, everyone is affected by the sliding timescale. In practice, it doesn't come up as much with the X-Men because so many of them are tied to real life things. And they just never retcon that away. Like Magneto with the Holocaust, most famously. But like Storm, the Suez Canal crisis is her origin. Never been changed. Forge, still a Vietnam vet. Everyone else has to go be in the Hong Kong War or whatever the fuck they call it. The fictional one they made up. Not Forge. He's in Vietnam. I'm pretty sure Xavier is still a Korean War vet. They may have changed him to Hong Kong by now. Yeah. Stuff like that. Colossus is, yes, very, very necessarily a child of Soviet Russia. Don't question how that works. One thing that praised the movies over the 90s animated series is we actually see kids in the institution of the 90s animated. It's only the cast and institution for the most part. So actually, the movies invented that idea. The first time the school is ever presented as like a bustling school full of children where the X-Men are teachers is the movies. Before that, it's a school for up to maybe 5-ish people. The original 5 X-Men are children. They go to school at the Xavier's Mansion. Then, when they grow out of it and the book gets canceled, whatever, yada yada, the new X-Men come in with Wolverine, Nightcrawler, all of them. It's solidly just a front. None of those people are old enough to be in school. There are no children at the mansion until Kitty Pryde comes back. Now she is explicitly shown to be going to get schooling elsewhere. She's got like tutors and shit, but is still ostensibly a student of the mansion. Then Xavier leaves, the X-Men leave, the New Mutants and Magneto take over the mansion. It's kind of a school again for 5 people. But even then, again, the odd implication that they're also going to school other places. So it's not until the movies that you get like the bustling school. And then in 2001, Grant Morrison's X-Men comics, not based on, but like taking inspiration from the movies, bring it into the comics, and it's been there ever since. Did they do that because of Harry Potter? I feel like they did because of Harry Potter. And they did not do it because of Harry Potter. Well, let's say it this way. It was definitely successful because of Harry Potter. Like in the books, they kept it because Harry Potter made magic school so popular that they could have the kids going to like they could basically do X-Men Evolution in the Xavier Mansion if they had enough kids. And then it was Harry Potter and everyone liked it. But yeah, that's why Evolution, they go to a different school. It's like the last X-Men property that got made before the movies, and they had to hold on to that thing. So Professor X doesn't actually do the whole find and help all these mutants and take them in thing to the movies. I mean, he does, but he's just scoring way lower numbers. Like he's not getting like a school of them. He's getting like 6 adults. Do 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 do. Nikhil, you hit as a guy who would love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I talk about the X-Men so much, obviously, and I constantly get people asking, is that a JoJo's reference? And I've never understood it once. So one day I should watch JoJo. But Cerebro in its modern take is also from the movies. Cerebro's always existed. It used to be like a tiny little computer. The big room and all that shit is also the movies. And it was not that powerful back in the day. It's sometimes hard to grasp since I'm pretty sure Marvel editorial said that Scott and Peter Parker are the same age. They are. They are the same age. And yeah, that's just life. To be fair, they're the same age, and that age is like 27 officially. Like even Peter is not supposed to be that old. They're both being held back from being 30. So they're both like vaguely older 20s forever. They should bring back X-Men Evolution, add magic, because I say so. All right, I'll let them know. I assume they wanted to keep Xavier older than Tony, so they didn't want to do Shang Kong. But yeah, Korea was also a strange choice. I think they did put him in Shang Kong. Like, I think that did happen. But also, Korea's the original choice. Like, that one's just, like, I guess, the war that was happening. Who knows? It doesn't make a ton of sense now that I'm saying it out loud. Because when I say the original choice, that's when they gave him a background in the not the 70s, in the 80s, during the Claremont run. But because X-Men premiered in 63, I don't know when he would have gone to the Korean War. But yeah. What did you think of the new Mutants movie when it happened? I liked it more than most people. I think it's got some very high highs. What do you think of the lighthearted, not serious interpretation that Logan's clones are all female because he's a trans masked king? I actually love that, and I think it's incredibly serious. No, I love that idea so much. From research from the paper, they've retconned it to or back to Korea from Vietnam. Is what I meant. Oh, all right. I'll trust you. You researched on the paper. That means you know more than me. I'm just pulling random thoughts from my brain. New Mutants surprised me. It wasn't perfect, but it was a good starting point. The casting was great. The casting was really good. The casting is like insane. That girl, the Arya Stark as Wolfsbane, missed opportunity. Even more than Anya Taylor-Joy as Magic, who's also incredible. That girl was born to be Wolfsbane. Okay, so now I'm just exposing that I don't know history. When was the Korean War? 1950. Oh, okay, so it is the original one. My bad. I thought it was in the 60s. No, it can't be because Vietnam's 64. They made our girl a Vanguard. I know! I can't believe it. It's so wonderful. The New Mutants cast was great. The white Beto elephant in the room addressed me. Yes, obviously, whitewashing Beto is bad. Yeah. The rest of the casting was good. Cecilia was also whitewashed, but you know. I'd love you to watch Cowboy Bebop. I've always wanted to see Cowboy Bebop. It's hard to believe that Cap is racist when he's Logan's old war buddy. Well, good news. Cap's not racist. It has never been portrayed as such. That is like the most, and I mean this not to insult you, but it is like, there are a few things that when people bring up to me, tells me that they don't actually read the comics. They get all of their facts from people online. And as a person online who shares comic facts, I got nothing against it. It's just very clear what's happening. And anytime someone brings up Captain America hating mutants, that shows me that. There are 2 different volumes of books about how much Captain America loves the mutants. I don't. Not whitewash Danny though, so that ate. True. She was really good as Danny too. There was so much potential. Cap's Kooky Quartet was 50% mutant. Facts. In his early comics, most of Cap's comics are just him punching races. Facts. I want Anya Taylor-Joy back for Magic. I don't anymore. She's too old. I need Magic to be at most a teenager. If you could permanently kill one mutant, who would it be? Mandrill. Danny was in the New Mutants movie. Danny's the main character of the New Mutants movie. They actually do it right. She's like the protagonist. The arc of the original 1984 Secret Wars is kind of just Wolverine realizing Cap isn't racist at all. Yes, that's my thing. It's like if you pick up any book where Captain America interacted with the mutants, that's not called Avengers versus X-Men, where they have to be at each other's throats a bit. He's only ever been on their side. This man looked at Magneto and was like, hey, maybe we don't know how much this guy's been through in the 70s, 80s. 75 to 84 is the same decade to me. Like that's before Magneto was even that nuanced. Namor is a mutant, don't forget. Never have. Even X-Men Evolution, he was an ally. He's an ally in X-Men Evolution. He's an ally in X-Men the Animated Series. I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up in Wolverine in the X-Men as an ally. He's the only, well, not the only, because they changed it after him, but he was the first human to be resurrected by the resurrection protocols on Krakoa because the mutants realized that the world needed Captain America. He led 2 different Avengers teams where the whole pitch was, by the way, this time we have mutants on them, so stop being mean to mutants. He has literally always been pro-mutant. Do-do-do-do. Thoughts on Kurt's fling with Silver Sable from Uncanny Spider-Man? I loved it. I hope they bring it back. I also loved it. That's kind of why I'm kind of sorry that he was the token Avenger to be confrontational 97. Yes, 97 is another big white elephant we should address. That one had him being anti-mutant, I guess. But whatever. Do. I'm so glad they changed him up so much when he came back and retconned him into being less of his first run personality and more of a what America should be type than raw America dude. What are we talking about now? Avix will hurt his relationship with mutants, but that literally ended with him going, I could be a better ally and starting a Unity team. Exactly! He realized he was wrong at the end of AVX. Like, yes, he's against mutants in that one book ever, but he's literally also wrong. What do you think of Emma and Iron Man being married at one time? I thought it was hilarious. I was reading those comics when that came out. That was beautiful. Did 97 not capping anti-mutant? He kind of seemed more concerned about the mutants and then ruining their reputation by being against them, really. I mean, he's not like he's very like doing the white liberal thing with them. Like, hey, well, what if you just talk about it? But again. Yeah, well, yes. A big steaming issue with my current rant is that the original Uncanny Avengers is doo-doo. But, whatever. It makes no sense for Black Panther to be T'Chaka. I love these chats because sometimes I feel like y'all have different conversations. What? Are you going to watch Planet Hulk? Eventually. I'm not now, but eventually. They mean in 97. Black Panther was T'Chaka in 97? Why can I not remember this? I don't even remember Black Panther showing up in 97. Wait, what? Black Panther X-Men 97. T'Chaka. What episode are you in, man? What the hell? Oh, he's in 92. I knew he's in 92, but he's not credited as Black Panther. He's credited as African Mutant because they didn't have the rights to Black Panther. I don't know. I'm gonna have to rewatch 97 before the new season. He was on a Zoom call with Kelly. What the fuck? What a crazy sentence. I forgot about TAS doing everything to get around rights issues. It's really funny. What they credited some of these characters as is hilarious. How do you feel about Miss Marvel being mutant and inhuman? I like it. I think, again, it's the only way to keep her as a character you can realistically use going forward. Also, it is past 1 o'clock. I've got to edit the video I was supposed to finish editing yesterday. I love you all. Adios.